Alright guys, look what I got for Christmas! The Harvest Right Freeze Dryer! Woohoo! Check this thing out! I got the medium. Came with this big box of stuff, so let's get started. Alright guys, let's see what's in the box. Alright? Oh, right off the bat we got our vacuum pump. I went with the most basic pump, so I'll have to change the oil more often, but it's a lot cheaper, so that's why I went with that option. This is the hose for the vacuum pump, and this is the oil filter, so we have to filter the oil quite often, so we'll have to do that. And we got the insulating thing for the door, drain hose, power cord. Oh, they gave us some Mylar bags. That's nice. Good ones. And oxygen absorbers. Good. There's the manuals to read through those. I got an extra set of the trays, right? So here's the tray. Alright, so there's 4 trays, but I got an extra set. That way you can always have one freeze drying and the other set could be for setup and in the regular freezer getting ready for the next round. Here's the oil, comes with 1 quart, and it comes with a sealer for the Mylar bags. Alright, so let's get all this stuff out and put this together. Vacuum pump, get this guy opened up. Oh my goodness, look in here, all kinds of goodies. Owner's manual, more oil. Alright, so I guess they're giving us some extra. Oh, that's heavy. Yeah. Alright, so I did go with the least expensive vacuum pump. Saved quite a bit of money, but it does require more maintenance. So this guy has to have oil changes. I think it's every 2 or 3 batches that you do. You got to filter the oil and put it back in. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I think we'll go ahead and fill it up with oil and get it all set up. Okay guys, so I'm setting aside this little area here for my freeze dryer and vacuum sealing. I got this cleaned out. I'm gonna just keep Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers. These are the vacuum sealing bags and everything I need. I want to have it right here. I'll clean out this drawer, put whatever I need. Put the trays in there. Anyway, let's get back to the pump. We're going to put the oil in, taking off the red cap. We're going to fill the oil right into here. And we're going to fill it until it gets to this oil full level. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and carefully pour this into the funnel here, and then we'll keep an eye on our fill level so we don't overfill it. And if you overfill, it's not that big deal. You just drain a little out right here. Okay, filling up. Okay, I've got 1 bottle dumped in and we're still not showing on the gauge at all, so don't have to worry about it in the first bottle. Oh, maybe just a little more. Alright, that's got us right on the line. See there? Oil fill level. Nice. A close look at our pump. There's the front, the drain, fill level. And this is where you put the oil in. Alright, looks good. Okay, so we've got our oil in our pump. The next step is we're going to hook up the vacuum pump hose. It's the same on both ends, so you don't have to worry about that. There's a seal in there, so you don't want to use any Teflon tape. That'll just make it leak. Okay, so we're going to put it on this end, the freeze dryer. We're going to do hand tight, but pretty tight, like probably as tight as you can get it with your hands. You could use a wrench, but very lightly with a wrench. Okay, very lightly with a wrench. Don't want to mess this thing up. So this has to have a vacuum seal on it. So if there's any leak here, the system's not going to work. This is probably one of the first places you'd look if you're not getting a vacuum. Alright, there we go. I pulled the freeze dryer out a little bit so I can get to the back. We're going to plug this stuff in this back corner right here. Plug the pump into the freeze dryer, and then you plug the freeze dryer into the wall. Okay, so we've got our oil in our pump. We got the pump hose on. We plugged it in. Went ahead and switched on the pump, even though it won't be turned on until the freeze dryer turns it on. It's plugged in, and the switch is off on that. So let's take a look at this. First, we got our door here. We got a rubber seal. This door is like a two-stage. The first latch catches the handle, and the second turn pulls the door against the seal. So it's like a two-stage. All right, open that up. We're going to peel this rubber seal off. And take this in and wash it with cold water. And let's just go ahead and pull this out and show you what this looks like. This is where your trays go. This is the rack, and it's plugged in the back. And this is your vacuum chamber. Everything's plugged in. So we're going to put this back in. And it goes with the little orange stuff is on the roof. That's the way it goes in. Just like that. You can get this cleaned up and put it back on. Okay, good. Latch it and pull it tight. It looks good. Okay, the next thing is this insulator. Goes in the door here. And you just want to make sure you get this all the way in here and that's not anywhere on the actual seal. Otherwise you won't get a vacuum. Just like that. Okay, so next we're going to put on our drain tube. Right? So you pull this out a little bit. It's got a little valve that's open, that's closed. Open, closed. Alright, I'm just going to put this right on here. Just like that. And then this has to go down into a bucket. Okay, so temporarily I'm just going to use this as my bucket. Okay, so next up I'm going to do a couple of functional tests as described in the owner's manual. So we're going to do the freezer and the vacuum. So we'll start by turning the machine on here in the back. Throw the switch, doesn't come on immediately. So just wait for a couple seconds. And it'll boot up. There we go. All right, then we're going to press this little guy up in here. And we're going to do the freeze. All right, so what you're hearing there is, it's not the pump, it's the refrigeration condenser inside the freeze dryer. That's what we're hearing now. And we're going to go ahead and let this run for about 30 minutes. And then we'll switch over to do the vacuum test. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about 33 minutes on the freeze test, and it's looking good. We're down to 18 degrees, and this room is 80. So let's go ahead now and switch on the vacuum test. There it goes. Okay, so what we're looking at is the pressure. We're currently at 28,000 millitors, and we need that to drop down to 500 millitors to be a successful vacuum test. That should take about 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, we're at 501. It goes really fast at first, and then of course it slows down as it gets harder to suck more air out of there. 501. There we go. Test complete. Successful. Alright. 496. It's good enough for me. And hit done. That shuts off the vacuum pump. And test successful. Yay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do then is open this valve and let this air back in here. Before you do that, you always want to make sure that you don't have this end in the bucket full of water. It'll suck the water right into the machine and ruin whatever you just made. So I'm going to open this slowly. Okay. Just letting the air back in. Great. Test complete. Alright, so I've already got some frozen bread in here. I went ahead and put my Harvest Right trays in here to get them cold as well. So we'll take this bread, lay it out on the trays, and load up the machine. Okay, so the very first batch we're going to run through the freeze dryer. They want us to do a load of bread. Okay, so I guess that'll clean out that first run of the machine, get that new smell out of it. So we're going to run a batch of bread, like they say. This is all frozen. The trays are all frozen, so we're going to run it as a frozen batch. Okay, so go ahead and put that in here. This up, we'll place our trays in the machine. 4. Alright, we got our insulator. Trying to do this with one hand. So, get this in here good. Okay, I think that's good. Close it. And then we're going to go start. And we're going to select pre-frozen. Pre-frozen. Okay, so it says load the food into the freezer. Now normally it would take a little while for it to get cold. It's just that it was already cold because we just ran the freezer test, right? So it's already cold. We're going to hit continue. And we're off to the races. First batch. Here we go. Okay guys, so the process is complete. Went ahead and opened the drain valve, and now we can open this door up. See what we got. Take this off. Alright. Pull this out. Yep. Well, it's dry. Feels about room temperature. It's very dry. It's like dry toast. So I guess we'll hit right here, no defrost. Oh, that's it. Done deal. All right, so that completes this test run. It's got some ice built up in there, not much. That'll just defrost naturally. I'll leave this door cracked a little bit. And we've got our bread all freeze dried. It's all dried out. Definitely working. So now that we got this first step done, tomorrow we can do some real stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.